my name is Rosia Patino, and this is a overview video for AB 630. Um, Overall, with my interventions, one of the things that I found to be most helpful for me when it came to studying is using the deck of flashcards that I created on my own. I feel like that was more easier and accessible for me as I was able to take my cards to work, or if I were to travel somewhere, it would just be a lot simpler for me to be able to study. The way I would run my interventions would be it would change weekly according to my work schedule. However, for the most part, during my work breaks or my lunch breaks, I would, if it's the beginning of a new deck, I would try to memorize 5 cards at a time. Once I feel like those 5 cards were mastered, then I would go ahead and move on to adding 5 more and then combining them until I eventually reach sending all the cards for that specific deck. As far as my interventions, I would typically study 30 to 45 minutes a day. Again, that would kind of determine based off my how my day was scheduled, my week is scheduled. But for the most part, it'd be 30 to 45 minutes a day. Most of the studying did occur outside of my house. It would be in the school lounge where I work at, or sometimes it would occur in my room late at night when the house was nice and quiet and I had no interruptions. Some modifications that I had to do throughout this course was modify the time that I would study, and that would sometimes change weekly. I would also modify the place where I was studying, as there was a period of time where we had family over, so most of the time studying would have to be outside of my house, just as outside of my house, such as in the school that I was working at. Another modification I had to do was having somebody else quiz me on the flashcards. Sometimes it became too repetitive of me studying by myself, that I would have to make it a little bit more enjoyable when somebody else would present me the card, and then I would just have to study the deck of cards like that. Those were some of the modifications I had to do. Oh, actually, another modification that would change sometimes was when I would implement my data uh, onto SAFMEDS. I would try to implement my data every single day, just because implementing every day, you're able to track and see your progress, rather than waiting at the very end, like the last day of the week. So yeah, so that's something that I try to do weekly. It was implement the data weekly to be able to track everything. Overall, I enjoyed this course. There was a lot of information that was very helpful and that I look forward to implementing in my career.